Hi guys, today we are going to make a cake that looks like a hamburger.
The very first step is to make a plain sponge cake and bake it in a round tin, and then you need to cut it in half. So you have a flat piece that is going to be the bottom of your burger bun, and a nice rounded dome piece that has risen in the oven that's going to be the top of your burger bun.
Okay, so the next step is to make yourself some buttercream icing, and you're going to want this to be a sort of tannish brown colour. Once both halves of your cake are cooled down, you're going to take your icing and cover them completely.
If you're unsure as to how to get your buttercream icing a kind of brownish tan colour, I don't have a special dye or anything. What I did was just take a little bit of yellow, a little bit of green and a little bit of red and just mix it to some ordinary icing, and I kind of achieved this effect. Okay, so once you finish with that, it's time to put the meat on top of the bottom half of your burger bun. Now the way to make the meat is to make a big fat brownie and make it in the same tin that you did the cake in, so it's the same shape and size. You can make any brownie mixture that you like. I tend to use the Jamie Oliver recipe just because it always turns out good for me, so I'll put the link below to that recipe. So what I would do is take the brownie out of the oven sort of about 5 minutes before you usually would, so it's a little bit more gooey. So when it's cooled down, you can really smush it on the side and sort of make it really uneven, which makes it look more like a meat burger. So when you're ready, take your brownie and put it on the bottom half of your cake.
Okay, so now it's time to put some ketchup and some mayonnaise on this bad boy with some red and white icing.
Alright, so now it's time to make the lettuce, the cheese and the tomato to go in your burger. You can make these in a variety of different ways. I think the way to make it look the most authentic is probably to use fondant and just dye it and shape it in whichever way you like. But today we are going to use Starburst. So I've got some green Starburst for the lettuce, some yellow for the cheese and some red for the tomato. And now in order to shape these into lettuces, tomatoes and cheese, we're going to put them in the microwave for about 10 seconds and then mould them into what we like. So it turns out that green Starburst is actually white, which sucks. But now it's just going to be iceberg lettuce. Okay, when you discover that red Starburst isn't actually red either, get angry with your Starburst and throw them away. And use some fondant. Okay, so take some green fondant and literally just smush it into like a long shape. You don't want it to look even because it's lettuce. Okay, and then literally just smush it in between the brownie and the bun. And there you have your lettuce. So you want to do that all the way around the burger bun. Right, so once you've put the lettuce all the way around the burger bun, you're going to want to get some yellow fondant and roll it out to make the cheese. So once it's rolled out, you're going to want to cut out a triangle shape and kind of lay it as a flap over the top of the burger. Like that. Right, last step before putting the burger bun on top is to make the tomato. So get some red fondant, roll it out and then cut out little circles.
So now that you've got your lettuce, your cheese and your tomato, it's time for the top half of your burger bun.
There.
Yep.
That look okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes! Just as a finishing touch, just take little tiny pieces of fondant, roll them up like that, and then place on top. And these are going to be the sesame seeds to your burger bun. Okay, so there you have it, your very own completely edible hamburger cake.
Hi guys, today we are going to make a hamburger cake that looks like a hamburger.